We have a lot to cheer about this year thanks to you. Welcome to Save the Children's annual update. Children around the world are attending school with enthusiasm, and Save the Children has given hope to so many with your support. Take a look at all the new photos of children you sponsor and click on the icons to listen to music or watch a video. Click the arrow to continue, and be sure to let us know if you enjoyed this experience.
Hi, this is Kim Boyd with Chatterbox Multimedia. While I was working at Dayton Mailing, I had the pleasure of doing this project with Save the Children. This was a very extensive development project that took about 6 months. It was a concept I presented, and they loved the idea. And so I created this as a component to a direct mail piece as well. This is a Purl landing page or a personalized URL, and it is all personalized to one individual. It's a very extensive Purl campaign that had a lot of variable and a lot of programming. So I'm going to explain to you some of the things that I did while I was working on this project. The photos in the slideshow that you see on this page and on every page are all photos that I selected. I had access to their large database and went in by country and selected images and wrote all the content that's a part of this site. On the side you'll see all the countries. There were 17 different versions, and each one of those versions I selected images and wrote all the content. The design that you're seeing is a design that I also concepted and directed the graphic design, as well as the navigation, of course with the help of Save the Children and our collaborative efforts. So on the home page you'll see personalization of the person's name. Every person that landed on this home page was personalized with their first name, and it's also personalized according to the countries that they sponsor. So if they only sponsor 3 or 4 countries or 1, those would be shown on the right-hand side. As you go to the next page, the child update page, a part of this development was streamlining this process and to make it very engaging. Initially, there were quite a few pages that the client wanted to add, but I had advised them to shorten things up a little bit so that it would be a little more engaging and just pertinent information. This page, again, is personalized, and this is all variable content that is generally always presented in an Excel spreadsheet format, and programming is developed off of that Excel spreadsheet. This is typical of direct mail pieces that have a lot of variable content to it, and the online version works much the same way. So this page is personalized to the individual, and any child that they sponsor would be shown here. This is just an example page, so all the images are the same. So any child that they would want to get an update on, they could click on, and it would take them to this light box. This image is pulled in variably, as well as all of their information and any school programs that they participate in. Again, this is all variable information, and it's programmed to fill in according to what information is gathered for that particular child. So that's mostly the function and the features of this page. Again, highly variable, lots of information, and lots of unique children images to pull in as well. This whole page is variable between sponsor, and there were about 70,000 sponsors. The program update page is a static page and was a page that was created for each individual country. Again, there are 17 versions that were created. I had pulled the images to use, wrote all the captions, developed a message from the director, and had a large document from each country that I worked with to develop all of this content. Information that was provided in that document was a lot of their program updates and the success of those programs. We developed that and put that into a bar graph to make it interesting to look at. Some countries had a program innovation, and we incorporated this rollover feature to give another interactive piece just to add interaction with this piece. Again, all of these images were selected from a very large library of images, and the content was developed to go along with that image based on a large document that was provided. All of this content and images are unique and different from the printed version. Every page, the navigation is set up so that at any time the user can click and go to another country to view. The next page is experiencing the culture, and this was all content that Save the Children wanted to have featured. And so I created a slideshow, again, to make it interesting and just to have some nice large images, which are what holds people's attention when they're online. And these images were featuring things about that culture, whether it be their home, their tree or foliage or plant life that's typical in that region, their traditional clothing, and maybe it's a child's drawing. Some countries offered a nice selection of images to pick from, while some countries just did not have the resources to provide a lot of images and to provide good images. The ones you're looking at here are very nice, but some countries did present multiple challenges in trying to make it interesting and to have good photography that was available. I also incorporated in 2 download features that are interactive as well, so they can click to download a recipe. Unfortunately, that page did not display correctly, so we'll just that page did not display correctly, so we'll go over here and look at this listening to a traditional song, which is linked to a YouTube video. Again, most countries provided some very nice selection of a traditional song, and other countries was a little more challenging, and I had to locate appropriate material that would fit in there. The language translation is also a feature in every country, and it's just nice to see the English version to the Arabic version. And then there was another image selected for a child that's sponsored to share his story. The next page was a program cycle page. And this just describes Save the Children's programs. This was a lot of basic, a little bit of dry content. And so I suggested that we do an infographic and make it interactive. So I selected this puzzle graphic because it goes along with their child-themed business. And this shows one of their early childhood care programs. You can roll over and see more information. This is another program, their basic education, their school health and nutrition, and then their adolescent development. And it just offers another way to make it interactive and another way of presenting a lot of content, but not making it look like there's so much to look at. The last page is another variable page, which again personalizes by their name and also pulls in how many years they've been a sponsor. And that's all variable to each individual. We set up a gathering tool here of collecting data and information. If they wanted to share their sponsorship story, which this has been very successful, and a lot of people have chose to submit their information, they can browse here and attach a drawing or a letter. And if they wanted to be interviewed, they can click this button. So all of this was additional programming and additional area for housing all of this content. So at any page, the user could hop to another country and see that country's information. So here's information on Bangladesh. And again, it's all the same setup and design, just different photos, different content, and everything's customized to that country. The program update, the experience, the culture, are all pertain to each country's version. So every country had all of these images that needed to be selected, needed to be cropped, needed captions written. And again, some countries were a little more challenging to find good stock imagery that they had available. As well as, again, each country has a link to their own recipe of their traditional food and a link to their video content of traditional music. So this is Bangladesh, and those are the two pages that are just specific to each country. So if you hop to El Salvador, you'll see again it's all the same format. Images were selected there, letter from the director that I had created, and all of the additional content again that pertains to this country. So again, 17 different versions of that were created for each one of the program update and the experience, the culture page was all created for each country. So this gives you an idea of an extensive Purl landing campaign that I was directly related in designing, developing, concepting, and writing all the content. In addition to this campaign, there was an email blast that was incorporated with it as well, and it linked to this person's unique Purl URL. I had to convert over 70,000 records into a shortened Purl URL and provide variable content within that email blast so that they could click on their link and it would take them right to their page. This is an example of an extensive project that I'm very happy to present to you, and something that I could create through my agency at Chatterbox Multimedia. For more information, you can contact me at kim@chatterboxmultimedia.com. Thank you.